Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
Victory Monday with a Max Scherzer signing. I like it.
I know. The Mets are just becoming the new Yankees, spending all the money, and
we're all rolling right now. Knicks are looking good. Rangers are on top.
It's a wild time right now.
Good times.
So what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? We say hello. Victory Monday, a lot of excitement. A lot of it's excitement, but there's controversy, and it's like it's never easy with the Jets because there's a situation we will discuss after the rest of the team. But the quarterback's a hot topic, dude, always. And there's just two different ends of the storm. But before we go down that path, we'll enjoy all the happiness of the team and all the bright spots first, because
well, yeah, I mean, what good is a little excitement without some controversy? So we can't have it all when we're 3-8, right?
Yeah, that's true. So thank you to everybody who bought shirts. We have 1 day left, and we are going to wrap this up. So thank you very much, everybody. Helped us in our fundraiser. We definitely appreciate it. We got a lot of happy Met fans. Steve with his Victory Monday at 5:00 in the morning. A lot of very happy fans here. So I guess prime time, what we could do, Scherzer's going to look great in the wild card loss. Ball's coming out.
Ball's hating.
Everybody's all fired up. The Jets have the chance to beat the Eagles for the first time in forever. And they're actually a 6.5, I think it's 6-point underdog, which is wild, dude.
Yeah, 6.5 at home.
Yeah, wild,
especially with the game the Eagles just played.
I mean, they were terrible. The Giants are terrible too, but I mean, that's just crazy. So what we'll do is we'll start from the top, work our way down. We're going to avoid one position and say that position to the last because that's going to generate the most. Yeah. We'll start Jets 1, which is exciting. They needed it desperately after some very embarrassing, disappointing losses. So to me, one of the takeaways I have for this is that Coach Saleh and his staff they're showing signs of improvement. They're showing signs of growth. And I think we were very hard on Saleh for a lot of reasons and a lot of things we complained about. He's starting to change, man. Personality's changing, his approach, his time management, his aggressiveness, leadership. You're starting to see a much different coach, I think, over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, dude, I said it during the stream yesterday. I really think that conversation with Rex Ryan got through to him, like where Rex maybe just said, just be yourself. You know, the crowd in New York, they've been dying for a winner, but they relate to the person that, you know, that Rex was. He was a normal guy who loved football, and, you know, he let his passion come out. And that's what made him so relatable to the fans. So I think over the last 2 weeks, we've definitely seen that a little bit more on the sidelines. Even with some of his answers in the media, it just seems like he's getting it now. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And, you know, he was slapping hands with everybody, I think, after a big stop on defense. Yep. So that's what you like. Bring that energy, be a leader, create the environment that you want.
And he's like, you're seeing his true personality. The guy we thought we were getting, we're actually starting to see now. But even like he made mistakes with time management earlier in the season. He's starting to improve that. He's going like in certain situations on fourth down where we were like, just go for it. He's going for it. Things Todd Bowles never did. Even Adam Gase didn't do that. Like,
yeah, there's some aggressiveness, even with the timeouts at the end of the half where, you know, he was trying to get the ball back, trying to score again after we scored. So I like all that stuff.
Yeah, so we make fun of him for a lot of things, but you got to give credit where it's due. And he you know, I give Sal a lot of credit, man. Even said it like the one time he's on the defensive bench with the lineman, like, let's go, we got it. Like, you know, and I think you may be right. Maybe Rex said, hey, be yourself, dude. Like, you can't be this, you know, buttoned up guy that's all stiff and dry and quiet because you're going to get run out of town, which we were all starting to be like, dude, who is this fraud?
Well, and now he was following the same path, you know, that, you know, we saw Gase go down, that we saw Bowles go down. It's a nowhere road, you know, where you have that blank stare, you don't have answers, you give the same lines week after week. That's never going to cut it, rebuild or not.
So yes, we react after each game. So we do the positives and the negatives. So the last 2 weeks, Saleh's shown a lot more, which is good. So the next thing is, you know, obviously Mike LaFleur, where now Zach Wilson comes back. But, you know, early in the season, we're like, what is Mike LaFleur's offense? We have no idea what he is. And you're starting to see a lot of good things out of him, too. Some creativity. You know, he keeps running the ball when he has to. He's doing a lot of good things, too, man, which, you know, if the quarterback would play better, I think it'd be a lot easier because a lot of plays have been left on the field. But, you know.
Yeah, some of those short throws I think can make the difference in just keeping the offense out there a little longer. And even with some of those missed opportunities, we had what was it, a 12-play drive, a 13-play drive for a field goal towards the end. I know they had some breaks, with the roughing the passer and then the penalty on the field goal. So they got some breaks along the way, but they still made the most of those opportunities. And yeah, you really couldn't look at the play calling and say it was like a major issue. Guys were getting open. You just got to hit them.
Yeah, so and that's it. Like you think they're leaving a lot of plays on the field. They are. That's just it is what it is. But we're seeing more out of the floor where he's scheming guys open. The guys are open. They're just not getting hit. So the person that's throwing the ball, we'll talk about a little bit later on. So we'll stay on the offensive side of the ball, and the running back position. Michael Pirine is now going to be he's lost because now Austin Walter comes in and is now a fan favorite, and he shows another level of explosiveness that we don't have on this offense. He actually has some power for a small back. So you have him, Michael Carter, you have Ty Johnson. Like Austin Walter's a very good feel-good story, man. Playing it from his hometown. His mom predicted it. Step right up.
I was very surprised they were using him in the red zone a lot too. For a smaller back, but yeah, he was shifty. He was showing a little bit of power. I remember in training camp, he was showing plenty of speed, but I think I don't know if it was training camp or a preseason game. I know he had like a bad fumble or some kind of play where we were like, all right, he's gone. I think we even said it on the stream. So it must've been a game, that, he was probably out, but he's been on the practice squad for a little bit. So hopefully he used that time to learn, to grow, and this is his chance now. So make the most of it.
Yeah. And it's exciting to see, man, like explosive guys. Like for a long period of time, it seemed like the Jets offense always lacked speed. Like we always seemed like other teams, they were like light years ahead of us in terms of speed and athleticism. If you can add them to the mix, it's fine. And now it's like, all right, you have Michael Pirine. It just seems like this is not going to be his team, man. I mean, if Michael Carter goes out and you're inactive week in and week out, it shows it's not a good sign for you. Then we can go to the tight end position. Unfortunately, Wesco's out now for a couple of weeks. Ryan Griffin made a couple plays. Yeboah had a block punt, which is wild. He could have had more. But to me, the tight end position is still a position where you're like, you know what? It's just get what you can out of it now, and that's going to be a huge hole going forward. I mean, you address it in the offseason. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the injury to Wesco, it sucks. I know they still have that kid, Nick Bowden, who can play fullback. Wesco, I think, was doing a pretty good job as a blocker. But yeah, I mean, the tight ends have been pretty invisible pretty much all year. I know Griffin's made a play or two here and there, but definitely not what you're looking for a young quarterback. That's an important safety valve to be able to have, and we haven't had it in a while.
Yeah, and then you go to the wide receiver group. Obviously, Corey Davis was out, and we were all like, all right, you want to see what Elijah Moore can do. You want to see what all these guys can do. And I think the plays were there. I mean, Moore made a big play. Cole had a big catch. Crowder had a big catch. Yeah. It's just that the quarterback wasn't playing well. So I keep thinking there was a lot more to be had there. But the wide receiver group, and I'll keep saying, dude, I mean, obviously we all love Elijah Moore. I'd bring back Keelan Cole, dude. I find a way to bring him back. But also you have Berrios now had the big play too.
Yeah.
So they're all contributing. Jeff Smith got snaps. Denzel Mims apparently will be coming back this week. But some good things.
Berrios just seems to get open, and he seems a lot faster than, what I remember. Just, yards after the catch, him running downfield, nice play there. Keelan Cole, big 4th down catch. that was huge in that game. So, yeah, I mean, they got some weapons, and it's nice to see them also getting Elijah Moore involved still with Wilson at quarterback.
Yeah, so then you go from there, you go to the offensive line, which has been kind of, has their chance of struggles. And sometimes they make mistakes, and Zach was getting just absolutely blasted, which you don't know. It's just weird, man. They're they're getting a lot of credit today because the Jets won, stuff like that. But the quarterback was getting some huge hits.
Still gave up 4 sacks, I think.
Yeah. So they ran the ball. I mean, they did run the ball. That was good when they had to the most. They were able to to do that. But still, a group that has to be they have to improve. LDT is replacing Greg Van Roten. There was times yesterday where he was getting completely passed up. But it's like, all right, he hasn't played in 2 years, so It's a work in progress, I guess. Vera Tucker's still good, but I mean, it's just I don't know what else to say.
Connor McGovern, his highest graded year of his career, I think, was the tweet I saw from Connor Hughes. So I mean, we got something there, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the O-line's been up and down. I mean, they've been pretty inconsistent. I'd love to know, just being a fly on the wall, just like talking with like LaFleur behind the scenes with the coaches, like what the game plan is, like, or how it's changed with Wilson versus the other quarterbacks, and how they think that's maybe affected the offensive line. I would just love to know that. But
yeah, I mean, I completely agree. So you look at that. So overall, the offense, we're gonna. You guys are disappointing, so, dude. You know what? You have 35 other channels for you can go watch. Go watch them, dude. Like I don't have to tell you. So we'll stop.
Is it because we're being too positive right now?
I solved the problem for them. It's just, it's like we go week by week, man. If they play well, we give them credit. That's how it works. So adios. So now you go to the defensive side of the ball where this was, almost like every week you're like, the defensive line has got to step up. The defensive front's got to step up. Now they went against a team that's, listen, we understand what the Houston Texans are, but if we learned anything in the NFL, it's a week by week league, man. Anybody could lose on any Sunday because we're seeing it. There's upsets almost like this league is just chaos right now. So you only play who's in front of you. And the defensive line came after it, man. I mean, John Franklin Myers had a monster game. Quincy Williams. I mean, they were all just, stop after stop, getting sacks. Quincy Williams. I mean, they were flying around, man.
Bend but don't break. I mean, that was kind of what we saw yesterday. They came out. They looked pretty flat, even against the run.
They did.
Texans were still breaking off some big runs there, getting 4 or 5 yards before they were being touched. That shit drives me insane, especially when we can't do that. We're getting 1-2 yards a clip, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, they made some big stops when it counted. John Franklin Myers, the huge interception. We were finally getting pressure.
That probably changed the game, dude.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they're on the verge of getting blown out. It seemed like.
Okay. No, that was the first drive of the game, right?
I'm saying like they were just playing so poorly though, but they're still down 14-3 at one point. But they were just like they looked like they were lost out there.
Yeah, and then he still gets 2 sacks after that. And Quincy Williams was making plays until he got hurt. Gerard Davis, he even came in, made a few nice tackles. Quinn Williams made some plays. So Javelin Guidry, I think he had a good. He graded out pretty well also. So
yeah, I mean the defense they pretty much stepped up. And the one thing we always said about them was when they had to get off the field and pick up the offense, they would never do it. They did it like 3 or 4 times yesterday. Like the offense was clearly struggling. Now, I don't care what anybody tells me, they were struggling. Defense, like, all right, 3 and out, getting after big hits. Like you said, the defensive front did their thing, but then even the secondary, like Elijah Riley's a safety coming around making plays. Javelin Guidry, and I think the guy we got to talk about is Bryce Hall. Where this is where the NFL drives you crazy because you watch the way he played yesterday, and he's playing very physical, very hands-on, very aggressive, no penalties. 2 weeks before, he sneezes near somebody, he's getting called. But you watch the Cowboy game, right? Like the pass interference calls are so weird. Because you watch Bryce Hall yesterday, like, dude, this guy's a big-time corner here. He's playing great football. And then the week before, you're like, man, he sucks. He's terrible. Because all the penalties, It's so weird.
The inconsistencies across the games throughout the league are pretty wild. Even with some of the quarterback hits, too. It's just nuts.
Yeah, so overall, the defense did their job, man. They picked it up. They played well. They were aggressive. They blitzed a little more. And it's like, and now it's like again. Now it's like, oh, pay Quincy Williams. You gotta do this. Now John Franklin Myers is worth it. And it's like you're only as good as your last performance. So you give them credit. Like, listen, they played great, but now the key for them is build off it. I mean, you're playing against the Eagles team that's very beatable. Don't the last time the Jets won, when they have any kind of success, they tell everybody how great they are and they pat themselves on the back. Then they lay a dud the next week. So you want to see the defense kind of build off this a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully they learn from the last 2. Each of their last 2 wins, they came out and followed that with 2 losses. So,
So then we'll go to our kicker, who I'm shocked he's still on the team. Like I don't know what I know he's a feel good story with Amendola, but he missed another kick yesterday. Yeah. I think it's to the point now where they have no faith in him, man. Like I think they're calling plays on offense, assuming that he can't make certain kicks, which is not the way you want to play, not the way you want to scheme your offense, right? Like it's kind of,
Well, they finally brought somebody in last week, so I would assume that this week in practice is probably going to be closer to a legit competition throughout the week, and best guy during the week probably is going to be kicking on Sunday.
Yeah. So overall, the team is a good team win. A lot of parts contributed, a lot of good things, and now we come. But now we go to the quarterback, and the weird thing is now it's like the fan base is so separated because there's a portion of the fan base that just said they want to see this guy fail because they want to say, I told you so. He sucks. I told you so. We should have never drafted him. There's another part that says he's a rookie. Ignore all this. He's going to get better. Don't worry about it. And to be honest, I fall somewhere in the middle where I'm like, listen, I understand he's a rookie. There's going to be good days and bad days and everything else. He made like the first half of football was terrible. For like we were literally talking about you can make a case one more bad series to take him out because he was beyond struggling. He was awful, right? But to his credit, he bounced back. And the third quarter played very well. Fourth quarter, not so much. So I understand the whole roller coaster ride of rookie quarterback. I respect it. I understand it. But primetime, the mistakes he was making yesterday, to me, are like the same things he was doing before the injury. And it's like he's either very nervous, he's either overwhelmed, or he's super anxious or something like that because the easy throws he can't make consistently. And like, dude, they're 10 yards, like sideline, little screen passes like that, dude. Like Elijah Moore is 8 yards in front of him. He's throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. It's rough, man.
It's either a combination of nerves, just not being good, possibly being injured, not being ready. I mean, there's a number of different things it could be. I think it's crazy if you're on the side that's completely writing this kid off, calling him a bust already, ready to move on.
Yep.
I mean, that's just crazy. We're 6 games in. Let's be realistic. But there's also, like you said, there's the other side. For whatever reason, I don't know why, you can't say anything about this kid. He's the fucking golden boy. You can't criticize any throws that he makes without being called like a negative Jet fan. You should go root for another team, find somebody else. So I don't understand that. I mean, the eye test really doesn't lie. I think at least for yesterday, those were throws to guys that were about 5 yards away from him, wide open, nobody near them. And those balls were going all over the place. He had 0 touch, 0 placement on half of the throws, especially over the middle. Even some of the balls towards the sideline, were incredibly high and just off target. Guys were reaching. Even Keelan Cole on the 4th down grab, he had to reach behind him. So, some of the ball placement issues definitely, he needs to clean that up. But again, you don't know if it was the injury, if it's just, nerves, first game back, a little bit of rust, trying to shake that off. I did think he settled in a little bit more towards the end of the game. But, I mean, some of those throws he made early on, the shovel pass.
He had some bad throws, though.
Yeah, he had another ball that could have been picked off in the second half. I forget if it was the third or the fourth quarter, but the one shovel pass was a joke. He had the one fumble as well. So,
and that's the whole thing. It's like, listen, like we're all understanding there's going to be rust. It's his first game back. He's still a rookie. He's only played 6 games. We understand all that. But to me, my biggest concern, and listen, I like Zach Wilson. I'm rooting for him. We all want to see him play well. To call anybody a bust or want anybody cut or anybody fired in their first year is not going to happen. It's ridiculous. So that I don't understand. But if we're just being fair, like you want to see competent quarterback play. You want to see consistency. You want to see, we've been saying it, make the easy throws. And to me, it was like that when his first week back of practice or the last 2 weeks, he's been practicing for 2 weeks now. Like, dude, you're like the scripted plays are the ones he struggled with. Yeah. Like the first half of football, dude, those are all plays he should have did 500 times in practice.
But not for nothing. Doesn't it bother you that after the game, he comes out and says that his knee is still, I think the word he used was unstable.
Unstable.
Yeah, there's still instability in his knee. If there is any part of that knee that is not 100%, why is he out there? It's not like he's out there right now throwing for 300 yards, lighting it up, gaining all this valuable experience. He's looking like shit right now. You wonder if his confidence is being shaken. What is he really learning from this right now? Couldn't there be more value just getting healthy and watching right now? He doesn't right now at this moment, he doesn't look ready.
Yeah, so. and I heard those comments too, and I was like, you know what? If his game is all about being mobility, athletic, running around, doing things, and you have uncertainty in your footwork and your leg because you're not sure what's going to happen to your knee, if you're feeling awkward about it, they'll play. Like he's going to be here for a long period of time. To rush him back makes no sense. But those comments too are kind of like, I'm telling you, dude, I'm being completely transparent. The second quarter, dude, I was 1 series away, but like, dude, take him out. He looked like he was so far in over his head and uncomfortable. It was painful to watch.
And the other thing, I don't know if this would apply to coaching. I know this applies for baseball players. I think one of the worst things you could do if you have a player that, let's just say a kid that's struggling at the plate, and you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 different voices that are in his ear trying to tell, all right, this is what's wrong with your hands. This is what's wrong with your feet. This is, what the pitcher's doing to you. You got a million different people telling you all different things, trying to correct you. Sometimes you just need to be like in your own head and locked in and just forget everything else and just focus on what makes you comfortable. You wonder with Zach Wilson, he's got all these fucking coaches all huddled around him every time he's back to the sidelines. John Beck just got here 2 fucking minutes ago. What does he know about the offense and what LaFleur's trying to install? I'm just wondering if there's too many voices in his ear right now, too, if that's playing any part in his confidence at all.
Yeah, so you went from the first half where it was ugly, he had that interception that was dreadful, just like, it was just awful. I mean, it is what it is. But he came back in the third quarter, and to the Jets' credit, we always said coming out of halftime, what are you going to do? They came out like gangbusters, ran the ball a lot. He made some good throws. He got a little more comfortable. He did some good things. But then again, like when, there's other plays, you're just looking at, it's just the simple plays. And you want to see growth. You want to see improvement. He's got 6 more games to show it, and it's great. But what I just don't understand, like you said, like there's one part of fan base that hates him, wants him out of here tomorrow. And the other part of fan base, he's a golden child. You can't say nothing bad about him because it's called trust the process. He's going to be great. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just a casual fan.
What I don't get from that side, though, is that, I mean, after all the quarterbacks that we've watched to this point, and again, it's only 6 games, but to this point, what have we seen that says he's not more like the past? Obviously, he's got all these tools that you cannot coach, but part of it also is on the organization to develop, him into an actual quarterback. Right now, it's not there. Can it get there? Absolutely, it can. Josh Allen, he looked like shit. Like we've gone through all the examples. Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions. Troy Aikman was shit. Steve Young had to get traded and he sat for a couple years. Like there are plenty of examples of quarterbacks that didn't do it early on that eventually did it, that had the tools to get there. Wilson has the tools. Can he get there? We don't know. It's anybody's guess.
And the thing is, too, it's like, for me, it's like if he's like forcing balls down, downfield, like in tight windows and get picked off, stuff like that. These aren't the mistakes he's making. I mean, the interception in the first half was just horrific. But the throws he's missing is what's bothering me the most. Like if he's throwing 4 interceptions downfield and he's just trying to press it and like doing that, those weren't the problems yesterday. The problem yesterday was he looked like he couldn't even throw a 10-yard out. Like he looked like he was just over anxious or nervous or whatever. So if he's playing with his injury, yes, he proved he's tough. He didn't want to come out of the game. He limped off the field. He said, "No, I'm fine. I'm going back out with my team." Listen, we give him credit for all that. I mean, many times in this season, he took an ass beating because the offensive line couldn't block for him. Look in Carolina. He's proved that he's tough. He's gotten the shit kicked out of him many times throughout the season and gets back up and comes back in, throws an interception, goes back. That's not the issue. To me, it's just like, you got to listen. We said, okay, he's played 7 games, and some of the things you see right now you don't like, and hopefully he improves, and he has to. Because what's happening is he's holding back the offense, he's holding back the team, where it's like your offense can't even put together a drive. You know what I mean? So, like, and I'm curious to see how this was his first game back after injury. I'm curious if this happens again against the Eagles, how the Jets handle it. Because, Flacco gives you the best chance to win, and Mike White did whatever he did. I'm curious to see if the Jets have a quicker leash with him. Like, you know what? Maybe he is still banged up, or maybe his confidence is shot. And I honestly think there's something to what you just said, too, because, he has a lot of coaches now. Like, Boomer Esiason laughs about all the time. Be like, dude, there's a coach for a coach now. Like, this kid has got so many coaches now. It's like we're joking yesterday. Like, give him a meditation coach. Like, give him a water coach. Like, he could be overwhelmed. He could be overwhelmed on and off the field at this point.
And how do you even work on some of the things that that he needs work on right now? I mean, it's just hitting basic wide open receivers. I mean, that's football 101. Like just being able to take what the defense is giving and hit those open throws. Like that's what he needs to be able to do right now. So I don't even know. Like, what do you change up in practice that's gonna correct that in a week?
Yeah, and the thing is too is just like I always thought, like the first quarter should be all the scripted plays, the plays you walk through. They should be the most comfortable throws. Like you say, what plays do you like running the most? Does it work against this defense? Let's use them. And that's what you go over and over. And you came out and you're just like, oh man, like, and like you don't want to see hero football, which I think the interception was kind of stupid. But and then he had the strip sack where he's like, sometimes I just seemed like he's just overwhelmed at times, man. Like the spot's just too big, or just the moment's too big for him. And he doesn't know what to do. He panics.
Well, I think a lot of it also is the speed of the game. I mean, I was saying it during the draft process, but when you're going against the talent that BYU was facing, and now you're thrown into facing NFL defenses without a whole lot of help in front of you at times, shit's going to be moving pretty quick, and that's a big time adjustment to make. That's going to take more than a season.
So now this comment is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Mahomes misses the same throws. So what? So Aaron Rodgers misses throws too, but we have to get this kid to the point where, like, this is a point. Like I was gonna make a video today about this. I'm like, why even bother? Because it's such like a controversial topic where you to add any kind of just thought process or trying to like just criticize a little bit and just share any insight of what you think is going on. It's like an all-out war starts. And I don't understand.
You're get attacked by both sides if you try to go down the middle.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's like, well, like they're saying, oh, Russell Wilson just did the same thing. Okay. Well, let's not compare Zach at their 6 games where he played pretty much poorly in every one of them to Russell Wilson or Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or whatever else. Yep. It's just this Jets had their hands full with him and guiding him through the rest of the season, because I'm telling you what, if this game yesterday was in MetLife Stadium in the first half, he would have been booed out of the building. It would have been a disaster. Yep. And then in his confidence, which is seems like it's kind of shaky or whatever. Dude, imagine that MetLife yesterday, the first 2 quarters. It would have been a disaster.
Oh my God, it would have been bad. And for also, like, for all the examples that we see with, like, Steve Young or Aikman or Peyton Manning, there are probably 10-1 examples of quarterbacks that that never make it. Right? Yep. They have that first year, they suck, or they never even get that opportunity, or they get the opportunity, they maybe shine for a game or two, and you never hear from them again. I mean, there are more examples of quarterbacks that are broken, that aren't developed properly, that are complete busts than the guys that actually go on to, be franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, we're not calling him a bust. We're not calling him a superstar. We're just saying he's a young quarterback that's trying to find his way and he's struggling. And it's okay
Yeah.
to say that. Like
Yeah.
everybody, I don't like, and this is one of the things when Salah compared him to Josh Allen, I hated it. I'm like, let Zach be Zach. Like everybody's so quick to call him the next Josh Allen or the next friggin' Ryan Leaf. Like they're kind of like, there's no like, let the kid be himself. But it's okay to say, listen, I watched the game. There were some things I saw I didn't like, some things I did like, but that's where he is, the roller coaster ride. But it's just this fan base is wild with this kid, man. These takes are coming fast and furious. And I was like off Twitter today. I'm like, you know what? Day one, I can't even deal with this shit today.
Yeah. I think part of it also, I mean, like everybody, including us during the stream, during the shows, we were all so invested in that decision. So I think a lot of people feel the need to back that decision and, to make it look right. But I mean, just let the situation play out. Wilson's going to be the quarterback for the next 3 years. He doesn't have to show everything in year one. We knew there was going to be a lot of growing pains this year. I think there's been a little bit more than we had hoped for, including the injury setback as well. But he's got 6 games to finish out this year strong. So hopefully he's healthy and hopefully he could do that.
I mean, he hasn't played a good 4-quarter game yet.
No, he's had 2 good halves. That's it. Yeah.
And that's like, people are talking, well, what about this? What about that? I'm like, he's yet to play that game. Like that one full 60-minute game. You're like, shit, that was Zach Wilson's best game. Not best quarter, not best half, best game.
And it would have been one thing if we had all these different quarterbacks come in and the offense still struggled. Then you can start saying, all right, maybe it's LaFleur, maybe it's the receivers, maybe it's the O-line. Well, no, you had not 1, not 2. You had 3 different quarterbacks come in and run this offense with some level of success. So if they could all do it, and I know Flacco's obviously got a lot of experience, so does Josh Johnson.
White's got none.
Mike White has none. So if they were all able to do it, for Wilson to not be able to at least, give us like, 225, a couple touchdowns, I mean, I think the bar should be raised a little bit now that he's got that first one out of the way.
Well, that's it. And it's like, listen, you got to have like more than just a one great throw. Like, oh, that's a throw I'm talking about. Yeah, there's more than a throw. You get the 4 quarters together. You got to do a lot of things. And I'm like, listen, the team rallies around him. They don't, everybody's like on his side. Like, I'm not, we're not picking on him. We're just saying what we see, and it's and I agree with you. Like, there's 6 games left. He's got to show improvement. Now, improvement doesn't mean you got to be better than Josh Allen this year. There's nothing, but it's got to be more consistent, run the offense, get everybody involved, be able to put together, a solid 3 quarters, 4 quarters of football and show that, listen, I got to grasp this is my team. I can, like something more than what he's doing now. And if this knee is becoming a problem or if it's in the back of his head or whatever it is, he's either got to fight through it and just keep going through it, or they got to say, listen, man, if it's in your head to the point where you're second guessing yourself and the way you play the game, then maybe we take you out for a week or something. You got to figure out how to handle that then.
What I don't get is that they're saying that he can't hurt the knee any worse, but he clearly took a hit on it and it got hurt.
Yep.
And he had to come out for a little, and he was getting,
and he was limping.
So exactly. So I don't know. My personal opinion, if it's not completely 100%, why play him?
Yep.
You're not playing for anything right now. He's not lighting it up. You could wait another week or 2, make sure he's 100%.
Yeah, so then you wonder if it was because of, did they maybe bring him back because of the COVID situation where Mike White and if they had Josh Johnson? I don't know. I mean, it's just, this week's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back, how the team handles him. Obviously everybody's happy they won. So that always is a great, it's a great, winning's a great deodorant, dude. If the Jets would have lost yesterday somehow, he would be getting trashed today. But that helps him as well. So we'll see what happens. And the other thing too, is like, what I think kind of hurts, well, it gives, I guess, one portion of fan base a case is watching Mac Jones play. But the situations of what Mac Jones walked into and what the New York Jets are so night and day. Like, you're going into one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL with the win now team to a brand new coaching staff with a whole bunch of new parts and a whole nother scheme and everything else. It's night and day, dude. It's not even the same world. But
isn't that the idea?
What? You can't compare Mac Jones and Zach Wilson.
No. I'm not saying anything about comparing the two. I'm just saying, isn't that the idea? What the Patriots did to bring your quarterback into an environment that's ready to win.
Yep. He had a well-established coaching staff. They had a legitimate blueprint and plan. Like, Salah was trying to figure out what to do with him.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, trying to put everything together right now, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't it hard to develop a quarterback when your own program is not in place? When you're constantly reshuffling GMs and regimes. I mean, we don't have a system that's been in place for more than 2 years with offensive coordinators. So, I mean, how do you, put a quarterback into that and expect him to develop?
Dude, I'm saying it's a challenge for sure, but that's why it's going to be a couple year rebuild. Like to me, this isn't year 2 of the rebuild. This is year 1. It is because there are so many things they're trying to figure out and learn and grow from this year. And the way Zach is playing, you're as of now, you're not. You know, next year's going to be a big step forward. Well, maybe not. He may be a little bit slower than we anticipate because maybe he played way too soon, which is fine. You know, it's wild, man. I think the positive to come out of this is if you look at the team as a whole, is you have some kind of faith in Mike LaFleur. You like what you see out of playmakers like Vera Tucker and Michael Carter and all these guys. That's the good thing. But they just got to find a way to get Zach on track within the next 6 games. And the crazy thing is they're going to play some very good defenses too, man. Like the Saints defense will get after it. Some of these guys are going to get after it again. So he's going to have to take his lumps and he's going to have to handle it. And some of these games are at home, which could be a little bit more difficult. So he's getting the full Jets experience, I think, right now.
That's going to be a hostile environment on Sunday.
Sunday's going to be interesting. The Eagles defense can get after it too, man. So that's going to be interesting as well.
Yep.
Thoughts on
he's got some real tough defenses still. Eagles, Saints, Bucks, Bills again.
Bills. Yep.
Shit.
So thoughts on Trevor Lawrence, Dolphins again. Thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. He didn't face him last time. Trevor Lawrence compared to Zach. I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence has probably played better overall than Zach has, but he's also played more.
Yeah.
I mean, they were playing much more competitive football, but I mean,
he's gone through a lot of his struggles too.
Yep.
He's had some of those games where, I mean, he looked like a bust, but yeah, I think you trust maybe his natural ability a little bit more. But yeah, he's gone through a lot of the same struggles. I think Mac Jones has kind of separated himself out of all the rookies. Justin Fields, he showed you some flashes here and there, but he's still got a long way to go. And obviously, we really haven't seen too much of Trey Lance yet. So, long way to go with all of them.
All of them. I mean, Justin Fields, everybody's Justin Fields is better. He got his ass beat, was running around and he got destroyed over there. So it's been rough for everybody, man. And Justin Fields could be in a worse situation because Nagy could be fired. So he could be going, that could be so we'll see what happens there. If you guys have questions, want things we can cover. I mean, today was surprising, man. I'll tell you, it's not very often I back off Twitter and don't go after people. People are coming after me. I just logged off. I'm like, I'm good, man. Like, on a Victory Monday, some of these takes on Zach Wilson are just ridiculous. It's insane, man. So
some people just take it too seriously. I don't know. I mean, I know I was that fan for a while. I know we used to have that conversation, but I mean, at some point you realize there's more to life. This is just a game. It's supposed to be for entertainment. And the people that get too into it on Twitter, I don't know.
Zach won't make it the full season. He keeps playing this way. Next year, fans won't give him the same rope they gave Darnold. That's probably true. I mean, I think it's not even just Darnold. I think it's just all the quarterbacks that have failed here. I think that the patience level of this fan base is completely limited, especially when you invest a number 2 pick on him. That's heralded as, the next Aaron Rodgers. And that's he wears the headband, the likes, he could be right, Snoopy. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on him there. And especially there's more pressure now because he's playing so poorly. So now it's even making it worse. If he had like a great game, bad game, great game, bad game, you can kind of say, okay, it's a roller coaster ride. He's been pretty much consistently struggling the whole time. Yeah. And Mike White throwing for 400 yards did not help his cause at all either. That made it probably a lot worse.
Bingo.
Did Wilson play good yesterday? I did not watch the game, but I heard he looked underwhelming. It's probably a good word.
I could think of a few other adjectives, but yeah.
That's a good word to use.
Underwhelming we'll go with.
Yep. So
give him credit for that quarterback run too, though. I heard Salah talking about it today. That was completely improv. Yeah. So give him credit for that. Nice little veteran savvy play.
Yeah. No, he definitely called it off. He read the defense. There's a lot of good things he does, man. Like it's just the bad things he does stick out exponentially because they're just so alarmingly bad. When that one pass that was like 10 yards, like it was. I don't want to go into it. I was just
Zackenberg.
Oh man. What's up, John Atlanta? How you guys doing? So you guys got questions? I know I see the Brian Kelly rumors. Brian Kelly going to LSU. I have not seen any. I'll deal with that later.
Yeah, I was gonna say what's going on. I see that all over the chat.
I guess he won too many games at Notre Dame now.
Wow. Just as you guys have a chance to make the play, he's just gonna bail on you.
I mean, he's like the all-time win leader at Notre Dame. He's accomplished everything he can at this point. But we need to lock up Quincy Williams. Quincy Williams is still under contract next year.
Yep.
Right? It's the same rookie contract. This is like the 4th year of his rookie deal, right?
I'm pretty sure they would have to put in like a tender, or like they would have to pick up his contract. But yeah, they would have the option for next year, I think.
Yep.
Didn't we look that up last show?
I think so. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's under contract next year, though. The new right guard, I think, is a work in progress as well, man. I think you saw there was a couple of plays yesterday where he did not look good at all. But overall, they're getting rave reviews because they can run the football. But I think he hasn't played in 2 years, so you got to give him time. I'm not looking at any PFF evaluations because I just don't trust them at all. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Brian Baldinger gave some real good reviews.
It seemed like his first game was a lot better than the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quincy Williams is here for next year, at least on the over the cap. So,
and he's been a find, man. I mean, you got to give him credit for that because he's arguably their fastest linebacker and he hits like crazy. So he's definitely a guy you could maybe add like a piece to the puzzle, which is nice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So he was a waiver claim, right?
Yep. I believe so, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that makes sense. So yeah, they wouldn't even have to pick up anything. He's automatically under contract then. They just picked up his contract.
Yeah, the game tonight, I guess you're rooting for the Washington football team because they're playing the Seahawks. A lot of questions about Brian Kelly going to LSU. I have no idea. If anything, wouldn't surprise me. He can get a national championship there. They'll get next level talent there without all the academic restrictions.
Why can't Notre Dame do it? You guys are right there.
Wait, Notre Dame was in the playoffs. How many years?
How many?
They lose like the best teams. I mean, they can't get the same recruits as Alabama and everybody else, man. There's no way.
Coaching.
They actually have standards there.
Coach him up.
Yeah, right. He does. Brian Kelly. They one loss, 2 losses, maybe each year. He's been excellent there.
Harbaugh finally won the big one.
He did. Good for him. There you go. Blake Cashman, comeback player of the year next year. For what team? Won't be the Jets.
Yeah. He is gone. That
Brian Kelly is officially the head coach at LSU. Not great. I go deal with this nonsense now.
Wow. Tough day.
If Zach beats the Eagles, he will get my respect. Can you get your respect yesterday?
I respect him being out there right now, not fully healthy.
But you know what? Yesterday was a perfect example.
Smartest,
the perfect example of the Jekyll and Hyde nature of the NFL. Jalen Hurts last week was like a hero in Philadelphia. This guy's the next best thing, the next Michael Vick, the next this, the next that. Today they hate him. He's terrible. He sucks. Got to get rid of him when you like. That's the NFL, man. It is. I think now with the evolution of social media, I think now the criticism of the players it's just wilder than ever, man. It really is.
That was our chat. That was our stream during after the Titan game, and then what was it? The game that we followed that with the Falcon game, I think.
Yep.
When that was right after that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we were watching 2 different quarterbacks. We saw a top 5 quarterback in the second half of that game lead that comeback.
Yep.
And then we saw a bottom 5 quarterback for pretty much the entire game in London.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the reactions to game now in the NFL is just crazy, man. Then you had the fancy football implications too, like, oh, I had him on my team, he threw it like this and get enough yards. And it's just, it's exhausting, man. And I can only imagine, like, the players go on, they look at it, they see it all, and they can only imagine what that must be like.
Even worse, everyone's doing those same game parlays now. I'm even doing those. So you got people that are betting on the players for certain yards, touchdowns, and everything. I can only imagine the shit that they're getting.
Yep. So you guys got questions? We will answer whatever you want. I'm not answering any Notre Dame questions. I'm going to deal with that later. I'm not in the mood for that.
I'll take some Mets questions.
Yep.
For once it feels. I mean, I was trying to go back like the last 20 years. I mean, like what were the major moves that we've had? Like Johan and Pedro, Beltran. Like when was the last time we just completely outbid everybody? $43 million a year. Like that. Like welcome to New York. Like that's what it should feel like. Now I know how you felt like your entire life as a Yankee fan.
But what I find funny is that for as long as I can remember, Met fans are like, Yankees are always trying to buy titles. Yankees are always trying to buy this. You're always going to try to buy that. That's not the way you win in baseball. It's bullshit.
If you can't beat them, join them. And if they're not going to make the rules any different, that's going to allow us to spend, then why not?
Let's see. So Mike LaFleur's offense in the last 5 games, averaging 102 yards rushing and 300 yards passing in total. Jets have averaged 409 yards. We give Mike LaFleur credit, man. Up until even yesterday, there was plays to be made. They just weren't making them. I mean, the quarterback wasn't, but LaFleur's shown you a lot. He's been much more creative. Now he's finding ways to get the ball in the hands of Elijah Moore. Had it was a jet sweep, I think, yesterday for him.
Yep.
They're doing a lot. And if you got to give him credit, the 2-point conversion to Josh Johnson was awesome. Completely fooled the shit out of both of us. That was wild too. So you give him credit, man. I have no problem with him. But I mean, I think they're all going to be assessed as how they develop this quarterback and how they kind of cater to him and get him out of this little funk and get him, right his ways. I mean, it was sometimes yesterday was not pretty at all, man.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is I think it was 6.5 point favorite, which is crazy because it's an away game. It's a home game for the Jets.
Yeah.
Like they think that I mean, I may have to bet that one. I don't see that at all.
I mean, what do they travel though? Like 30 minutes?
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like, are they that much? They just lost to the Giants yesterday. They're that much better than us?
Maybe they have an advantage because they just played. That was a home game. That was a home game, right? Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think of something. I don't know.
Let's see what we got here. Giants fan here. Congrats on the win, fellas. Of course, Giants Jets win the same day. The second time this year, I think, right?
Yeah.
Giant.
Right.
And what's crazy is the Giant, like, I have a lot of friends that are Giant fans that just hate everything. They hate Daniel Jones. They hate the coach. I'm like, dude, you're a game out of the playoffs right now. Like, if they would have won one of those.
We're only three.
I'm not dealing with you. But they're only a game out, man. It's like, it's wild.
If we're only 2 games out after next week, are you buying in?
I'm not playing this game with you. I will not play this game with you.
There's 3 teams in that final spot.
The
all
AFC's
with the same
a mess.
record. So if they all lose,
I'm not playing this game with you.
2 games out.
I like what I saw from Austin Walter. Do we hold on to him? And if so, whose carries does he get, excluding Carter, when he gets back? Well, they put him back on the practice squad today because people are coming back. I think right now, I mean, Piron's gonna be the odd man out. I mean, that's
Piron. Yeah, well, I mean, Piron was still the odd man out, with Carter out. So once Carter gets back, I mean, Piron's gonna have no shot to see the field.
Yep. I think they're pretty loyal to Coleman, so I think they'll probably keep Coleman, Ty Johnson, and Michael Carter. But we'll see. I mean, it's a nice problem to have. At least they have they have explosive guys. You figure next year Coleman won't be here. I'm guessing, right? And what's Ty Johnson's contract? He got a 1-year deal, didn't he?
Pretty sure. I know Tevin Coleman was only 1 year. I'm pretty sure Ty Johnson's also.
Yeah.
So I mean, if both those guys are potentially going to be gone, and you can bring back Austin Walter, I mean, maybe you give him a look last couple games.
Any clue on why they used Josh Johnson instead of Wilson for the 2-point conversion? No, maybe because I don't know. I really don't know.
At the time, I thought it was because they didn't want Wilson running as much. But
then they called plays from the run the ball. They gave him rollouts. So let's see. Yeah, in terms of injuries, big day in injuries, man. McCaffrey out for the year, which is crazy. So it's just a war of attrition now at the NFL. Let's see what we got here. Hugh with the bye P Ryan. It could be. That's true. What else we got? The Carolina 2nd-round pick looking more better with Christian McCaffrey out for the season. It's true. What's Berrios' contract, primetime? He's on a last year's deal too, right?
Is he? Let's see.
What's up, Hugh? I mean, Berrios, the guy, it seems like you'd want to bring back. If Crowder and Cole, I mean, I'd bring back Cole, but if Crowder and Cole and Berrios are all gone next year, you'd try to bring back at least 2 of them, I would think, right? Especially with Mims, not sure what the hell he is.
He is, unrestricted free agent, Berrios.
Yeah, so you have Berrios, Cole, and Crowder, all free agents next year. I'm sure Jeff Smith is too. You got a lot of receivers that you got to figure out what you want to do with them.
You got, let's just go through the offense. You got Keelan Cole, you got Crowder, you got Moses, Dan Feeney, Alex Lewis. Take him off there. Tyler Croft, Tevin Coleman, Mike White. He's restricted though. And then Berrios.
Yeah, so you got a lot of receivers that are free agents, and then you have the unknown of Mims, which, based on the way his luck with the Jets right now, that's not really sure. So I'm curious if the Jets try to find a way to bring a couple of these guys back, or if they, they're not cutting Corey Davis, man. They're not going to do that.
Not next year. The year after, maybe.
Yep, he's back next year. So seems to see to do there some decisions to make with the running backs, the wide receivers. I think that's safe to say that Ben Roten will not be back next year.
I thought that for this year, and he was still back.
So and then there's the big headline prime time that Joe Flacco is facing his former team this Sunday. The Flacco revenge game against the Eagles because they traded him away.
Probably get to start.
Could you imagine if Saleh comes out and says Flacco gives us the best chance to win? He plays him this Sunday. Could you imagine?
He's been around the team. He knows the defense.
Yeah. Oh, that would be interesting, man. That'd be very interesting.
Saleh's come a long way. He wouldn't do that.
Let's see what we got here. Pay a kicker in 2022 or draft the best kicker in the country. I mean, guys.
I'm still not even worried about a kicker yet.
Come on, man. We need you. We're taking calls tomorrow night, John. Tomorrow night, 8 to 10. We're bringing all you guys talk about whatever you want. I have a funny feeling what the topic is going to be.
Yeah, Notre
Dame. Prime time this too.
All Notre Dame calls.
Oh, can you imagine? If this year's quarterback class was not as weak as it is, would you think about taking a quarterback? No.
Oof.
No, you can't take a quarterback next year, dude. Not whatever. We're gonna have 2 first-round picks. You're wasting another one on a quarterback.
What I could see is somebody like, dare I say, like a Baker Mayfield, somebody like that potentially coming in and competing for a year.
Where?
Here.
Get the hell out of here! What, nuts? You fucking. What are you drinking in that cup over there? What is this, nuts?
So who's Zach Wilson's backup right now?
Mike White.
All right, if they bring him back.
They're going to bring him back. He's a hero, man. You got to bring him back. You got Mike White and Josh Johnson. I had the same quarterback room as I have this year.
So and why wouldn't he start over Flacco last week?
I mean, I don't know, man. Because Flacco's your best chance to win. He's worth his weight in gold, man.
Everybody's worth their weight in gold on this team. Franklin Myers.
Oh, man. Yeah, and this is the other story, too, is that Jalen Hurts hurt his knee. So on Wednesday, we find out if he's going to play on Sunday, I guess, if he can play or whatever. So who the hell's the Eagles backup? Interesting. It's not McCown, is it? I don't know who it is anymore.
Oh, I hope it's McCown. That'd be fun.
Could you imagine? Let's see.
Just like old times.
Tyson, you don't like Malik Wills? When did I say that? I haven't said a word about anything. I've said nothing. Don't expect McGovern or Greg Van Roten next year. $12 million in savings. I don't expect it, but I will. The problem with that is I wish they would have drafted a center this year or signed a center like Corey Linsley this year, and then you have him growing with Zach throughout instead of making another change in front of him. But that's Gardner Minshew. Can we see a Minshew versus Wilson on? That'd be interesting.
Could see that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I
actually like Minshew. Here's a good question for your prime time. What do you guys think we'll do with Lawson and May after the Achilles injury? Well,
Lawson's don't have a chance.
Yeah, Lawson's coming back.
Choice there. Yeah, he's back.
May is a good question.
May's gone, I think.
Yeah,
he's already got so much animosity built up, I think, towards the organization for not letting him hit free agency, and then he gets the injury after coming back. I think he just wants out of here, and he's going to have
suspension doesn't help anything.
That too, and he's going to have his number set, I think, at a value that the Jets aren't going to reach. We know Joe Douglas.
Yep,
he wasn't his guy.
Flacco, thanks for a Super Bowl. Okay, we're thanking him for the Ravens, I guess. Maybe trade Flacco back to Philly so we can start this week. I wish we could. Let's see. What's this, Tyson? I'm over the Joe Douglas experiment. Give me anything to change my mind. Ooh. Okay, he can't draft, and a majority of his signings and free agency are hurt. Okay, he can't draft. We just talked about Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, and Vera Tucker right off the bat. We're all talking about, Bryce Hall. We talked about a lot of his guys right now. Now, his free agent signings leave something to be desired, but in terms of he can't draft, look at last year's class, which he's going to probably blame on Gase.
Yeah.
And,
first draft, pretty much, an entire bust minus Bryce Hall, and maybe if Becton comes back. Free agency has been complete disaster for the most part, but this draft class so far looks pretty good. You give him credit for that. You give him credit for the trades. Jamal Adams trade. Yeah, traded Darnold at the right time. Got a nice pick back. The 2 first-round picks with Jamal, he already turned one of them into Vera Tucker. This year, it's the one coming up is going to be hopefully top 5, top 6, something like that. So he's got a chance to to really put his imprint on this team. He's got to hit on these picks.
Joe Douglas will be obviously his biggest evaluation will be the coach and the quarterback. So if he hits on the coach and the quarterback, he'll be a legend with the Jets. If they both flame out, he'll be out of here too. I think he's only as good as they are. But listen, I've been critical of him as probably as much as anybody, but his draft you give him credit for. And you're seeing some of the pieces now that are kind of coming on. Even a guy like Javelin Guidry, man. Like, you like guys like that. Like, there's young players that are trying to figure things out. So, but we'll see. It's the free agency. He's got to be better.
Even guys like Berrios and Franklin Myers, those were nice under the radar pickups. I don't agree with how much they paid Franklin Myers, but yeah.
That contract.
See if he lives up to it now. Yeah.
Legend's take on the game is I had to put him in the quiet room because he's got a lot of animosity towards the quarterback. So I had to keep Legend quiet tonight because he'll be on tomorrow night causing all kinds of chaos. I can assure you. He's on the other side. He hates bad quarterback play.
Yeah,
So
don't we all?
Oh man. While we're on topic of centers, Jason Kelsey's a free agent after the season. Target him.
Hell yeah, why not?
How old is he?
He's getting a little older, right?
They're not gonna let him go. I doubt it.
Well, if Joe Douglas can't bring in some guys from Philly, then what's he good for?
Yeah, Lindsley, but you can get 5 more years out of him. Look what he's doing for Justin Herbert. I mean, I don't know. What do I know? Let's see. Cameron Clark was selected by Douglas last year, but unfortunately he had a serious injury, though. I think they had a pretty high expectations for him. It just didn't work out, unfortunately.
He would definitely be starting right now if he was healthy.
Yeah, I would think so, too. A lot of thoughts on the center position here. Playoff mandate for Saleh and Joe Douglas in 2022. I'd say they got to win 8 games.
My mandate is competitive games in December. That's what I think the mandate should be. That
but they got to win. What's the least amount of games they got to win? 6, 7?
7 or 8.
Because if you're one, say they win, well, they have 3 wins now. They're probably going to win maybe 2 more, maybe, probably 1. Say they win 4 games this year. Next year, you want to see 6 or 7, maybe 8, right?
Yeah. Playoff mandate the following year?
Yeah, probably the 3rd year. But you got to see a significant step up, though. You can't have blowout losses like they're having this year, like getting their asses beat by 30 points. Yeah. Can't see that.
Problem is, though, even if you do, man, let's just say next year, you set the bar at 8 or 9 wins, and you only get 6 wins, 5 wins. I mean, are you blowing it up then?
No. But it depends. It depends. To be honest with you, it probably depends on the play of the quarterback too. If you're a team that has a dreadful year this year, not dreadful, but your rebuild, your growing year, and next year the quarterback is still having the same problems, you're gonna be like, geez, then you may have to be worried about that, or then it's because if I don't know, that's a tough spot to be in, man.
Yeah.
But what do you expect this year? You expect you're gonna go from what? 4-13 to what? 14-3 next year? What do you listen, I'm all about holding the team accountable, but to say a mandate in year 2 when your rookie quarterback is stuck in mud right now.
The problem is, and this sucks that we're kind of lowering the bar ourselves, but this year should have been the 7-win season.
Yep.
I felt like with all the resources that they had, Joe Douglas still had last year. I know we're going to put it all on Gase, but this is still his 2nd full year kind of running things, even though it's Saleh and Zach Wilson's first. I understand a lot of turnover, a lot of rookies that are playing, but they still had a lot of resources to pour into the team this year. So I was hoping this was going to be the competitive year where they still fell short, won 6 or 7 games. Next year, you could expect 9+ in the playoffs. Yep. But now we're kind of pushing things back another year.
Well, you also got to look at it this way too, is, in terms of your offense, you could be replacing 3/5 of your offensive line. You could be doing your center and you could be doing a wholesale overhaul of your offensive line.
Plus tight end.
Plus your tight end. And plus it could be, who knows what the secondary is going to look like next year. It could be 2 safeties and 2, who knows? So, yeah, next year will be, I think, 2 years. Not next year. Next year, a big step up from this year in terms of just competitiveness. Then the year after that, they have the, and who we kidding? The Johnsons don't do mandates anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah,
this is the Jets are going to do.
Doesn't matter.
So, let's see. The first pick should be Hutchinson. Second first-round pick should be Linderbaum. I mean, that's everybody. Pass rusher, get a center. That's, there's plenty of centers going to be available next year, too. Some that we could have already gotten this year, but that's all right. Is what it is. There. Yep, we're not going to, yeah. Let's see. We will have the toughest schedule in 2022. How is that possible?
Perfect. Saleh likes adversity, right?
Yes.
We got the NFC North, I guess, right? So Packers, Vikings, Lions.
How many wins do you think they get this year, primetime?
What are the remaining games? Eagles,
Saints,
Dolphins, Saints, Bucks, Jags, Bills.
Oof. I think they get 2 more.
I think they'll go 3-3.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go 3-3.
This is a 6-win team now?
Yep.
Really? With Zach Wilson as quarterback?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's bold, man.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay. All right. I'm thinking 2 more wins, 3 wins would be interesting. What team? Okay, give me the 3 wins then. The Jaguars, I guess, is one of them.
They'll beat the Jaguars. I think they're going to win this week at home. And then Buffalo could rest all their starters that final game. That's definitely possible. I wouldn't be shocked.
So. They could be in the
Believe it or
hunt,
not,
man.
you're going to think I'm crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if they pull off a crazy upset against Tampa at home.
Come on, man. That could be Brady could be sitting out for that one then. If that's the case.
I would not be shocked at all if they get just ridiculously fired up for that one.
Let's see. Everybody's kind of in the 5-win boat. I mean, he didn't play the Dolphins yet, so he has to face that defense. The Dolphins are playing good football right now. Tua actually played good yesterday too, which is crazy.
Yep.
Trap game for Tampa. They'll beat the Dolphins, maybe. See, now everybody's throwing out 5 wins, 6 wins. Now everybody has faith in. See, now they have faith in Wilson again. Now they're buying back in.
And if Simeon's still quarterback for the Saints, I mean, that's definitely a winnable game.
Yeah, well, their defense is good though, man. Their defense is physical as shit.
Yeah.
Demario Davis just still playing just a really, really quality play right now. But let's see, 6-0. Okay. Yeah, prime 9-8. Then we're talking playoffs again. Prime time got over to these guys.
If they go 9-8, they'd probably sneak into that last spot. There's a good chance they would.
Come on, man. What are we doing here? I'm too tired for this shit. Prime time needs to be drug tested. Either that or we got to figure out what's in his cup because he's trying to get everybody.
It's these fucking holiday. Don't buy them. The can looks so pretty. I know you're gonna want to get it. It looks so pretty, dude. It tastes like you're drinking medicine after.
Really?
The aftertaste is awful.
Did you try with the sangria one?
Yeah, the sangria, the pomegranate spice something. This one's the spiced apple.
They all taste like shit.
It's a weird aftertaste. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
I felt the same way. Medicine. What was the other one we had? It wasn't the iced tea. The iced tea was kind of
punch. There was a fruit punch.
Yeah,
one.
I didn't like those either. Fruit punch tastes terrible too.
Yeah.
There goes our Truly sponsorship right out the window.
Well, Truly Lemonade will sponsor this one. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only ones I like out of that. I've been through a lot of them already, and I don't like most of them. Yeah, Tua played well yesterday. He did. Got to give him credit. Let's see. Can we just look to the next game first? Yeah, we got Jets Eagles. We'll talk about that on Friday. See what happens there. Never a dull moment with this team. We win 2 in a row. I can only imagine what the Jets, their Jets social media team will be doing. They'll be sending out playoff invoices. Let's see. Here's a positive comment for your prime time. The Jets already have 1 more win than last year with 6 to go. That's progress.
That's major progress. They could actually double their win total.
I mean, we were also the worst team in football last year, but we actually got some confidence now. What else we got here? Winning 2 rows of Super Bowl. Can we just consistently be competitive?
Nice.
I mean, I would love to win Sunday's game because the Eagles fans are going to be loud and obnoxious and just taking over the stadium. And it'd be nice to win the game and had them just go home and just leave us alone. And we had never beat them before too. So I think I've seen 5 losses to the Eagles, at least 4. 5.
You were at that San Antonio game, right?
Mm-hmm. That bastard. They're getting blown out, dude. He's in the end zone. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I still remember that. Ugh.
Then I go back to with the Jets with Hugh Douglas and the Eagles, and just loss after loss, man. They've had some brutal ones. Let's see, prime time. I promise you'll lose Tampa Bay by 3 scores.
Good chance. Good chance.
Tomorrow's call-in show is going to be a disaster. I already know it is. It's going to be arguments and fights. I'm going to start drinking early for tomorrow's show. Probably by 7 o'clock. I'm going to start drinking for that one because
I'm ready for it.
You know it's going to be chaos. You're probably going to start half this shit yourself. I know how you work. So
I got the direct link ready for Steve.
Dude, what time did he tweet us this morning? It had to be like 4:45 in the morning.
I wasn't up yet. Whenever it was.
Oh man,
yeah. He was excited. It's Victory Monday.
Yeah.
He hasn't had one in a while.
If we win on Sunday, Zach will earn a lot more respect. Well, if they win, he plays well. I think that's the whole thing. You just want to see him play well.
I don't even think it's about winning. Just play well.
Yeah.
Period.
Are you both going to the Eagles game? I'd like to. I'd definitely like to go to this one.
Same. Not sure yet, but I'd like to go.
Let's see. Get Tyrone to be the special guest referee. Tyrone apparently now has a broken phone. That's the news story.
What?
Because I'm like, dude, I'm like Tyrone. I'm like, let me get this under straight. I'm like, you made no pregame video. You made no preview video. You're doing absolutely nothing with Facebook. Got no promotion to the T-shirts. Like, what exactly is going on here, bro? Man, my phone's broke. It's got a cracked screen.
I thought Facebook was doing good for a while.
Yeah, and guess who's doing it? I was like, come on, man.
Nah.
So I'm like 6 more games, man. 6 more games. You can call in from Japan, man. We share a link, man. You click on the link and you can just call in. We have viewers from all over the world, so absolutely. Let's see. Do a couple more here. Zach was terrific, like I told you yesterday. No.
All right.
No, absolutely not. If you think Zach was terrific, I'd love to know what you think Aaron Rodgers was yesterday.
I mean, we can give him credit, for not completely folding after some of the early adversity that he faced. You want to give him credit for the improv on the touchdown run. That's fine. He hit more on a couple of passes, but there was still a lot more that I thought was left to be desired.
There's nothing terrific about yesterday with him.
No.
Yes, I'm learning throughout this stream. Yes, we should give Tyrone a come on, man, for sure.
Should.
This is a good point too. Ronald Blair he had a sack. He had a sack yesterday, but he went back to the practice squad too, though, didn't he? I think he went back down with Austin Walter. So, but he's looking for.
That was Zuniga also after he had his big sack. Right?
Yep.
Didn't they send him right back down?
Yeah. Why is Zach struggling with the short darts but can complete the long javelin throws? Good question, man. It could be footwork, fundamentals, or he just gets too amped up. He's just too.
You wonder if he's like thinking less when he's on the run, and it's just natural for him.
Yep.
I don't know.
Zach came back from 14. Well, it was actually 14-3, so it was actually 11, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I must be. I can't wait for tomorrow night now because tomorrow night's gonna be a disaster. Because I know it's gonna start out. We're gonna try to be friendly and positive and neutral, and this shit's gonna happen, and we're gonna get.
It's a victory call-in show. What can go wrong?
Yeah, and then we're gonna get our label. We already had the label of the most negative Jets stream out there. I can just imagine what tomorrow night's gonna be like. We're never gonna shed this label anymore.
No, it's here to stay.
Here's one for you, prime time. Aaron Rodgers is the most overrated quarterback since Elway.
Or what?
What? What?
I'll take any quarterback on my team that's overrated and wins me a Super Bowl.
And has Hall of Fame legendary numbers.
Did you see some of those darts he was throwing yesterday against the Rams? I'm like, shoot.
Yeah, I'll give me that problem. So we'll give Primetime some chance to gloat. The Mets getting Scherzer.
Best 1-2 punch in baseball.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. Too bad it's gonna be a lockout and you guys aren't gonna play.
Stop.
Yes, and this is news for sure. Mekhi Becton is back practicing this week, or he's back on the field.
He's on the field.
He's on the field.
He's on the field. So he's made his way to the field.
So that means he's probably at least 3 weeks away, you would guess, right? 2 weeks.
I mean,
what kind of conditioning could he be in right now?
Well, I mean, if he's just getting on the field right now, it's probably not in full pads or anything. So you figure it's a week or two of conditioning on the field doing like football drills. I'm just guessing. I don't know what he's been doing. And then you probably have him do like a week or so, maybe more in pads. Maybe he plays the final 2 games. But at that point, is it even worth it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Will this go as a come from behind win on Wilson's resume?
Yes.
Probably would. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it is. Let's see. What do you got? Let's do a couple more. Yeah, is it worth to play Becton at all at this point in the season? If you get down to only like 2 games left, I mean, that point, you'd be like, just get healthy and get in shape, and we'll go on to next year. But I would definitely bring back Fant, man. I would definitely bring him back because he's helped this team so much. We thought we were in deep shit without him.
Yep.
So,
and they can create money other ways too.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. Will Mike White play again this year? Well, I don't think Mike White's going to be the backup anymore. It's going to be Flacco every week. So Mike White probably won't even be active anymore, will he?
That would be some shit.
He can't be, right? He'll be active because if you have Flacco as the backup, what do you need Mike White for?
That's true.
That got 3 active quarterbacks on Sunday.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You guys see Brandon Sheriff on TV. That's why I want at right guard next year. we could have had him last time. There's a lot of these guys we could have had. We just didn't get. So I guess what we'll do is we will wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow night, 2 hours of chaos. You guys can all join us. Now I can go look at all this Brian Kelly shit. So we will talk to you guys later.
Have a good night.